first of our. Okay, so last time we have animals need. What do animals need again? We have three. First, food. Next, we have water. And the third one is air. Again, let's read food, food, water, water, and air. So just like for humans, we also need food, water, and air so that we can live every day, so that we cannot die easily. Okay, so what do animals eat? So different animals eat different kinds of food. So animals are classified into three. What are these three again? We have animals that only eat meat. These are called carnivores. Can you still remember carnivores? We also have animals that eat only plants. These are called herbivores. And animals that only eat meat and plant. So these are omnivores. Again, animals that only eat meat. We have carnivores. Everybody say carnivores. Again, carnivores. Animals that eat plant. We have herbivores. Again, herbivores. Ahim, herbivores. And animals that eat meat and plant, we have omnivores. Everybody say omnivores. Again, carnivores, herbivores, and omnivores. So what are carnivores that eat meat? So these are examples of animals. What animal is this again? This is lion. When the zebra die, the lion will eat the meat of zebra. And when the antelope dies, the lion eat the meat of antelope. Or they will catch the antelope even if they are alive. They will run and then they will eat the antelope. So that is lion. The lion only eats the meat of animals. Okay, another one we have tiger. The tiger eats the deer or the meat of the deer. When the deer will die, the tiger will eat the deer. How about this one, wild pig? We can see this one in the forest. Wild pig. How about this one? This is buffalo. Okay, when the buffalo will die, and then the tiger will see the dead buffalo, it will eat the meat of buffalo. So these three animals. We also have eagle. The eagle will eat the fish, rabbit, and raccoon. Eagle. So these are carnivores. Another example of carnivore we have owl. The owl will eat the mice and fish. For example, when the owl is flying in the sky, and then it can see the fish that is jumping in the water. It will catch the fish and it will eat the fish, just like for the eagle. We also have seal. A seal only eats carnivores or meat. For example, fish, octopus, and lobster. Since the seal is living in the water, it can eat different kinds of sea animals. For example, these three animals. We also have animals that eat plant. But before that, let me ask, who can give example of animals that eat meat? Eat meat. Can you still remember? Can you give one example? Where is Titan?
Yes, teacher.
Can you give me one example of animal that eat only meat?
Tiger.
Tiger. What else? We have. Where
Lion.
is oh, aside from tiger, we have
Crocodile.
yes or what animal is this that eat meat? We have e eagle. Aside from eagle and tiger, we have our is plern. Plern.
What?
Animals that eat only meat.
Lion.
Okay, lion. So those are some examples of carnivores. Now let's move with herbivores. Animals that only eat the plant. For example, we have animals that live in the farm. This example is cow. The cow only eats grass or green plants or grass. How about this one? This is goat. The goat only eat plant, grass or grain. For example, this grain is coming from corn or coming from rice. So that is goat. Another example of herbivores, we have horse. A horse only eat grass or hay. This is dead plant, hay. We also have the elephant. Have you seen an elephant already? So elephant only eats grass, plant. This is shrubs. When you say shrubs, these are stalk of plants. This one, and we also have. It can also eat fruit. So fruit is a plant. For example, watermelon. So that is elephant. It only eats plant. We also have here a long neck animal. We have giraffe. Giraffe eats carrots. Carrots is a plant. We also have hay, just like for horse. It eats hay, and just like the giraffe, also eats hay. Next, we have animals that eat both plants and meat. Plant and meat. What are these examples? But before that, can you give example of herbivores, animals that eat only plant? Give example of animals that eat only plant. Where is pat?
Teacher.
Animals that eat plant.
Giraffe.
Giraffe, very good. What else? Chem chem.
What, teacher?
Animals that eat plant only. Giraffe, what else?
Elephant.
Elephant, very good. How about giraffe? Animals that eat only plant. Giraffe, elephant, what else? Giraffe, okay, giraffe, elephant, horse, what else? Goat and cow. Oh, you can see this one in farm or farm animals. Okay, next we have animals that eat both plant and meat. What are these example of animals? We have gorilla. Gorilla eat fruit, just like for example, banana. And it also eat the stem of plants. any plants that they can see. We also have termites, the meat of termites. These are plants and these are animals or meat of animals. Ant and termite, gorilla. Okay, next animal we have the dog. The dog eats meat. For example, the meat of the pig, meat of chicken. When you have a dog in your house, they also eat the bone, right? And another one is the plant or grass. They can also eat grass, but not all dogs eat grass. Okay, next we have bear. This is a black bear. We also have white bear. The bear eats fish and grass. Fish and grass. These are omnivores. Another example of omnivore, we have squirrel. You can see this one on the streets or outside. Squirrel. They run fast. What do they eat? They eat the leaves of the tree or leaves of plant. We also have caterpillar. This is a worm. You can see on the leaves of plants. Caterpillar. Meat, a plant and meat. Squirrel. Another example. So that's all. Can you give example of omnivore that you know? What omnivore do you know? Eat both plants and animals. Kong Wan. Kong Wan.
That's teacher.
Animals that eat plant and meat. Can you give one example of animal? We have what
Dog.
animal? What? What animal is this? Do you know what is this? This is squirrel. Can you tell it? Kogwan is squirrel.
Squirrel.
Okay, so squirrel eat both plants and animals, just like bear, dog, and gorilla. Okay, so last time we also discussed about how to take care of your animals or pet in your house. For example, of animals, we have elephant, bird, giraffe, lion, zebra, tiger, goat, and monkey. So these are different kinds of animals. Now, how do you take care of your pet? For example, when you have dog, cat, or goat in your house. First, you have make sure your pets get enough water. Just like for humans or you also need water. So you give water to your pets or animals. Another one is give them food. For example, for dog, give them a dog food. Who among you give, for example, if you have a dog, where is Hafiz? Hafiz, if you have a dog in your house, will you give, do you give a cake to your dog?
Yeah.
Cake? Does your dog eat cake?
I can. I can.
A cat.
I
What food do you give to your cat?
Wait.
Fish. Okay, very good. So that is also one food for cat. Fish or the bone of the fish. Another one is the monkey. What is the food that the monkey eats? Where is Pan Pan? Pan Pan?
Monkey and banana.
What does the monkey eat, Pan Pan? Monkey eats
Banana.
banana. Very good, Pan Pan. And also, We have farm animals. We have cow. Or what do cows eat? They eat grass or plants outside. So put your farm animals outside. Cow, horse, goat. Another one is exercise. For example, if you have a dog, they keeps on running. So don't forget to play with your animals or put them outside. You can play balls, frisbee, or you can run with your animals. Another one, we have treat your animals with kindness and affection. When you say kindness and affection, what do you mean by this? For example, love your animals. You can hug them. Hug your dog. Another one is your rabbit. Tap their head. And also your cat. Okay, so they deserve proper treatment. Do not shout to your pet. Another one is never be cruel to animals. When you say cruel, do not punish your animals. Do not get stick and tap your animals. These are not good doings for your pet. For example, dog, cat, and horse. Okay, next we have do not tie your animals for a long time because what will happen to their neck? It will turn color red or they will have injury on their neck. So do not put a tie or rope on their neck. Okay, next we have feed your pet a good and high quality foods. Or when you say high quality foods, these are the foods that they can only eat. For example, dog food. Do not give them chocolate because animals, just like dogs, they don't need chocolate, only for humans. Okay, we have dog food, cat food, and fish food. Okay, next we have take them for a walk every day. For example, when you go outside, you can bring your pets. Another one we have provide them with needed vaccination. For example, when your pet is weak, they are not in good condition, you can go to veterinarian. These are the doctor for animals, veterinarian, and then they will inject some medicine to your animals, just like dogs, cows, and cats. Another one is keep a clean environment for them. For example, if your dog house is dirty, you remove the dirt or you can clean their house. Remove their poo. Okay, next. We have visit vet on a weekly or monthly basis. Just like for example, this one. You can bring your pets once a month or once a week. Doctor for animals, veterinarian. Okay, next we also have engage and do not leave them alone for a long time. For example, if you only have one dog in your house and then you will go to school, you will go to playground, what will you do? You can bring your dog to playground and do not live in your house. Okay, so just like this one, you can play with your animals. Another one we have provide them with a good and comfortable shelter. For example, fish. Where do the fish live? Can you make a house for the fish? Where is? I will ask Yuan Yuan. Yuan Yuan. Okay, you want. For example, if I will give you a fish, where will you put the fish? You want? You want? Can you hear me?
Confirm.
You want?
ครับ was ถามแล้ว was
Okay. If I will give you a fish, where will you put the
ถ้าเรา
fish?
บอกไม่ได้นะคือ
How about you? Where is Kwan? Kwan?
my
Okay,
teacher
Kwan. If I will give you a fish, where will you put the fish? Do you put the fish in a box?
yes
Oh, what's inside the box? If you put the fish on the box, put in the water, right? Okay, very good, Kwan. So, where is the house of the fish? What is their shelter? This is aquarium. This is where the fish lives, or you can put in the sea, ocean. Okay, next we have the dog. This is the dog house. Give your dog a house because it is where they can live. Another one is the house for horse, house for dog, and the aquarium, house for the fish. Next one we have keep them away from dust and allergies because animals can also get sick. So what will you do if your animals are dirty? You need them to take a bath, just like for humans. If you are dirty, you need to take a bath. Okay, so clean your pets, most especially for a cat and dog because they can get inside your house. Do you want that your dog and your cat is very dirty and then they will go inside your house and then your house will also get dirty? Do you want that to happen? No, right? Okay, next we have love them unconditionally. Treat them like your family and talk to them. Do you also talk to your animals? For example, dog. Someone is raising the hand. Where is Comter? Comter,
yes teacher
do you have a pet in your house? No.
yes
What pet do you have in your house?
cat and
Cat.
dog
Cat and dog. Do you also talk to your cat or dog?
dog
Do you also talk to them?
dog
What do you tell to them? What do you tell to your animals? Do you also, how are you, like that?
how are you today
Okay, you also check if the dogs or cats are okay, right? Do you also give them food? How about Tanwa? Tanwa? Do you have pet in your house, Tanwa? No. Okay, so that is how you give love and kindness to your pets. Don't forget to give them food, just like for humans, 3 times a day. Okay, next we also have, so that is how you take care of your animals. Can you give me one example? How do you take care of your animals? Num one. Num one.
Yes, it's
How
T-shirt.
do you take care of your animals? What do you do with your animals?
Cat.
You have cat. What do you do with your cat? Give them. What do you give to your cat? Give
Fish.
food. Okay, give food to your cat. How about Ainam? Ainam? How do you take care of your pet? How do you take care of your animal? Num one says give food to animals. What else? Ainam. Give food. What else? If your animal is dirty, what will you do?
Meat.
Okay, food
Fish.
like fish. How about porch? Porch. If your animal is dirty, what will you do? If your animal is dirty, what will you do?
What? Clean your animal.
Okay, clean your animal by what? How do you clean your animals? Where is Victor? How do you clean your animals? Victor? Victor, can you hear me? Victor. How do you clean your animals?
Shower the head.
Okay, very good, Victor. Shower the pet. How about, where is Taruka? Taruka? Okay, when your animal is sick, what will you do? Go to this one. What will you do if your animal is sick? Who can help Taruka? Where is Nawa? Nawa? If your animal is sick, what will you do?
Vaccine.
What?
Do a vaccine.
Okay, very good. You do a vaccination or you bring to the veterinarian and the veterinarian will do a vaccination to the animal. Very good, Nawa. Okay, so that is how you take care of your pets in your house. Another one is give them proper care. You can love your animals. So last time we also answered this one, right? So feed your dog. Do not shout to your dog. Another one we have feed the fish. Do not throw a stone on birds. Okay, for example, we have your bird parrot. A parrot can speak or talk to humans. So you can talk to your animals. Another one is take the dogs for a walk. Okay, did you answer this one? You draw an example of how you take care of your pet. Did you answer this one? Thumbs up if you answered this one, if you draw. Did you draw your assignment or homework? Thumbs up, please, if you draw. Okay. So last time we have also, did you finish copying this one in your notebook? Not yet. Did you copy this one? Okay, this time you get first your notebook and you finish copying this one for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Get your notebook in science. Color blue notebook. And you finish copying this one. Notebook in science. Ainam, are you copying? Get your notebook. You copy this one. Notebook. Oh, yes, Ainam, that one. You copy this one, Ainam.
Yeah, I finished.
When you are finished, let's wait for your classmates for 7 minutes.
Okay.
7 minutes more. Jaunai, can you raise your hand if you are finished? Jaunai, are you finished? Okay, very good. Hanif is finished. Victor is finished. 4 more minutes. 4 minutes. Two minutes more. Okay, are you all finished? Raise your hand if you are finished, please. Raise your hand. Vita is not yet finished. Pau Pau, are you okay?
Yes.
Vita, are you finished or not yet?
Now finish.
Okay. Jen, are you finished? Yes or no? Okay. Take your time. Irene, are you finished?
Yes.
Pau Pau, can you please sit down properly, please? Pau Pau. Vita, are you finished?
Teacher.
Okay, so this time, let's move on to our another topic. Everybody, please sit down properly now, please. Keep first your notebook and look at the screen of your phone or computer now. Okay, so this time we have different breathing of animals. Animals may use lungs or gills to breathe. As you can see here, this is an example of lungs. Can you still remember lungs? We have discussed this one in health, right? Okay, lungs. We use our lungs when we breathe. Also for animals. Some animals also have lungs, but some animals have gills for breathing air. For example, again, we have lungs. Everybody, let's read first. Lungs, gills, gills. Okay, so what animals that breathe on lungs and what animals that breathe on gills? So let's take this one. Humans use lungs to breathe. All humans use lungs to breathe in air and breathe out air. So as you can see in this picture, this is an example of human lungs. Okay, so when we breathe in air, it goes bigger. When we breathe out air, it goes smaller. Okay, next. Ahim, sit down properly, please. Look on the screen only. Okay, animals that live on land. When you say land or soil, animals that live on land breathe in air using their lungs. So animals just like, for example, elephant, lion, they use their lungs when they breathe in air. Okay, another one. Can you give example of animal that live on land? Animals that live on land. Can you give example? Where is Bess? Bess?
What?
Can you give example of animal that live on land? Animal
Sheep.
that you can see. What?
Um, Tiger.
Okay, tiger. What else? How about gawinrawe? Gawinrawe. Animals that live on land. Tiger. What else?
Zebra.
Okay, zebra. How about charif? Charif. Tiger, zebra, charif. Animals that live on land. Oh, well, give me example of animal that you can see here. Tiger, zebra, what else?
Lion. Elephant.
Lion, elephant. Okay, so these are some example of animals that live on land. They use their lungs when they breathe. For example, we have the this animal. What is this animal? This is giraffe. So the air enters and leaves their bodies through their nostrils here in these two holes here. These are nostrils. Everybody, let's read nostrils. Okay, so the air enters through their nostrils and then to their lungs. So the giraffe use their lungs when they breathe in air. Another one we have animals that use their lungs. These are example of animals. We have giraffe, monkey, lion, zebra. Okay, next. These are example of animals that have lungs when they are breathing air. We have the animal that is bat. Do you know what is bat? Okay, so the bat is only awake when they are during night time. They are awake during night time and they are sleeping during daytime. Okay, so that is bat. They have their lungs. Another one, we have animal that lives in water. They also use their lungs when they are breathing air. So this is whale. Whale. These are giant fish in the ocean or seas. They live in the water. Whale. Another example of animal that use their lungs, we have this one. This is example of spider. Again, spider. They also use their lungs when they are breathing air. Okay, the air enters through their nose. Another one animal we have. Okay, this one. This is lizard. Lizard. The lizard lives in the house. Sometimes you can see this one on your ceiling. Lizard. Okay, another animal that has lungs. These are, you know this animal. What animal is this? Where is Pepper? Pepper, what animal is this? Pepper. Okay, frog. The frog has lungs. They also use for breathing air. Another one is, do you know this animal? Can you name this one? Where is Pau Pau?
Crocodile.
Okay, crocodile. The crocodile use also their lungs when they breathe in air through their nose and then going inside is their lungs. Okay, we also have this animal. Some of you is their pet. What is the name of this animal? Where is Sydney? Sydney? What is this animal, Sydney? This is dog. Okay, so dogs also use their lungs when they are breathing air. Another one, we have cat. Cat. Also, this one, they also use their lungs. We have horse. Horse. The air enters through the sheep's nose, the nose of the sheep, and then going inside through their lungs. Sheep. It's the sheep is like a goat. They are having the same feet. Next one animal we have pig. Pig. The air enters through their nose. And then going inside to their lungs. Pig. Another animal that breathes through their lungs is monkey. Monkey. We also have rat. Rat. Next animal is, okay, this animal is living in the water. This is dolphin. They also use their lungs when they breathe because dolphin is not having gills. They have no gills. So they have their lungs when they breathe. Dolphin. Okay, next, we also have animals that live in the water that use their lungs. This is seal. Seal. Okay, just like the dolphin, they do not have gills. No gills. So they only have lungs. Okay, next we have the animal that live in the water. Sometimes you can see this one outside. They can also live in land. So this is sea turtle. Sea turtle. Okay, this time we have animals that use their gills when they breathe. But before that, can you give example of animals that breathe using their lungs? Who can give example of animals use their lungs when they breathe? Where is Chen? Animals that use their lungs when they breathe in air. Can you give example?
Fish.
Fish. Do fish have lungs? Jen? Can you still remember the first animal that we had? For example, we have bat. Someone are raising their hands. Oh yes, Titan. Titan.
Yes.
Give me an example of animal that use their nose going to their lungs when breathing. Animal that have lungs. We have Titan.
Crocodile.
Okay, crocodile. Very good, Titan. How about Ahim? Ahim?
Yes. Kangaroo.
Animals that use their lungs when they breathe. Crocodile. What else?
Kangaroo.
Kangaroo. Kangaroo? Okay, very good, Ahim. Crocodile, kangaroo. What else? Who can give example? We have where is Hongyok? Hongyok? What? Tiger? Okay, very good, Hongyok. Tiger also use their lungs when they breathe. What else? Who can give example of animals that breathe using their lungs? Using their lungs. Pau Pau, you are raising your hand.
Deer.
Deer, very good, Pau Pau. How about you, Tang Mo? Tang Mo? We have
Good teacher.
use their lungs. Kangaroo.
Bear.
Bear. Okay, bear also use their lungs when they breathe. How about Vita? Vita? Animals that breathe using their lungs. We have. How about you, Irene? Irene. Animals that use their lungs when they breathe air. Animals that lives on land. Oh, what are these animals? Give me one. Irene. Can you give me any animal that you know that lives on land? You can see outside your house, Irene. Yeah.
Tiger.
Okay, tiger. Tiger is finished. How about Jaja? Jaja.
Yes.
Oh, animals that live on land that breathe on their lungs.
Monkey.
Okay, monkey. Pau Pau is chatting. He says donkey, fox, wolf. Very good, Pau Pau. Okay, another one. Who can give example? We have who did not recite yet? Hafiz finish. Ahim finish. Victor finish. Hanif. Hanif. Animals that live on land that breathes on their lungs.
Cat.
Cat. Okay, very good. How about where is O? O. Animals that please unmute your microphone. I cannot hear you. Okay, animals that live on land that breathe through their lungs. Lungs. What? Give me one example of animal you can see outside your house. Any animal, one only. One animal.
Dog teacher.
Give me one example of animal that breathe using their lungs. We have
Dog.
any. Okay, dog. Very good. Who else? Who else can give an example? Hannah. Hannah.
Goat.
Goat. How about Shogun? Shogun.
Teacher.
Give me example of animal that breathe through their lungs, that have lungs.
Elephant.
Elephant. Very good, Shogun. Oh, yes. Nada. Nada. Animal that have lungs. Any animal that you can see in your house or outside your house. Nada. I cannot hear. Nada, you speak on your microphone. Nada, what is your answer? How about where is Pan Pan? Pan Pan? Give me one example of animal that lives on land and breathe through their lungs.
สัตว์อะไรที่มีปอด
Animal.
Monkey.
Animal. อะไรก็ได้ monkey very good pan pan how about Yushi sit down properly please
ยูชิ
Yushi give me one example of animal
อะไรลูกทีเชอร์ว่าอะไรนะ
Animal.
อะไรอะ
animal
โมดิเชอร์เก
animal that have lungs
สูง
Rock.
ล้างเรียกว่าล้าง
lung animal elephant okay so those are example of animals that live on land and has lungs to breathe in air, just like for humans, me and you. Okay, also, Irene chatted wolf. Pau Pau says rabbit. And Irene says pig. Okay, so those are some examples of animals that breathe through their lungs. So this time we have animals that breathe through their gills. This one, gills. What are these example of animals? Everybody, let's read first. Gills. Gills. Okay, they can found on their gills. We have example, we have the fish. Water enters through the mouth. For example, the fish here. This is the water. It will get inside their mouth and then passes through the gills. And then what will happen next? The fish will, the water will enter in the mouth and then passes through the gills. This is the gills. And then what will happen next? The gills will take in the air that is in the water. So the water has air. Again, the air enters through the mouth and then the gills will take in the air that is in the water. There is air in the water. So that is how the fish breathe through the water in the ocean or seas. Again, mouth, enter to the mouth, and then when the water is passing through the gills will get the air that is in the water. So when you drink water, it has also air in the water. Okay, so that is how the fish breathe air through their gills, through their mouth, and then the gills will get the air in the water. Can you understand? So that is how the fish breathe. Another example of animals. Another example of animals that breathe through their gills. This one, we have seahorse. Seahorse. Okay, so the seahorse have gills. Another animal we have, what animal is this? It has gills. This is the gills here. Okay, so as you can see here, this is where the shark is breathing air, gills. They do not have lungs, no lungs. This is gills. Okay, next, we also have animals that breathe through their these are some example of animals that breathe through their gills. We have fish, any kind of fish. Another one, we have seahorse and shark. Again, fish, seahorse, and shark. Some animals that breathe through their gills. Okay, next. Let's talk about some animals that live in water do not breathe using their gills. They do not have gills. This one. These animals don't have gills. They do not have gills. So what do they have? They only have 2 lungs when they breathe in air. So this example of animals, we have seal. They live in the water, but they do not have gills. No gills. Seal. Let's read seal. Seal. Okay, next animal we have dolphin. The dolphin have lungs. Another one is sea turtle. Sea turtle have also lungs. So seal, dolphin, and sea turtle, they live in the water, but they do not have gills. No gills. But they have lungs. Okay, so they breathe using their lungs, just like for humans and animals that live on land. Okay, so these animals need to come out of the water to breathe. As you can see, for example, when you go to the ocean, when you go to sea, okay, so when you see a seal, they sometimes they go out on the water, just like this one, to breathe in air outside. Okay, they cannot live in the water for a long time. What will happen to them if they will not go out? They will die. So they need to go out to breathe in air. Okay, just like for dolphin. So that's why dolphins are going out to breathe in air. We also have sea turtle. Sea turtles. So they are going outside to breathe in air through their lungs. Okay, but for fish, fish can live inside the water for a long time. Next, we also have, so those are about the animals. So this time, let's have about plants. Plants. So what plants need? Just like for humans and animals, plants also need food, air, and water. Food, air, and water. So let's take a look at these two different plants. So we have the sun, water inside the pot of the plant, and soil. So we are finished about animals. Let's move to plants. What do you observe about the two plants? What can you see about these two plants? Where is cow home?
Yes.
What can you observe about these two plants? Cow home.
Yes.
What can you observe about these two plants? What can you say?
I
Plant
do
number.
understand.
What can you say about these two plants? Plant number 1 and plant number 2. The plant number 1 is growing in the water, and plant number 2 is growing in the soil. Let's take a look at the height. How does their height differ? For example, plant number 1. Okay, plant in the water is smaller. Can you see the difference? This is small, and plant number 2 is taller or bigger. Okay, next one. A plant in the soil is taller. This one is water, and this one is soil. Another one. Plant in the water has few leaves. Meaning to say, this one, we plant in the water have only small leaves. You can only count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. While the plant in the soil have many leaves. Many leaves. Again, this one is small. This one is tall or big. This has small leaves. This one, many leaves. Can you understand? Okay, so that that is what you can observe with these two plants. This time, let's have the soil. Okay, so what is soil? Soil has organic matter. What are the organic matter? These are the nutrients on the upper part of the soil. Nutrients. Okay. It has also minerals. What are minerals? These are examples of minerals. When you look at the soil, you can see something that is twinkling, just like a star. Twinkling, just like a star. So those are minerals. Those are small stones on the upper part of the soil. Next one, it has gas or air. Liquid. What are liquid? These are water. So there are water in the soil. Another one, we have organisms. Example of organisms, we have small bacteria, small worms. These are organisms, bacteria or worms. Okay, so these are the 4 factors that the plant need. First, plants can make food when there is sunlight. Sunlight. Another one, we have air. Air. We also have water and nutrients. But in your book, there are only 3. We have sunlight, air, and water. Okay, so let's read one by one. First, we have the sunlight. Sunlight, the light coming from the sun. It gives energy source for plant. It also helps the plants to grow taller or bigger. If you put your plant inside your house, what will happen to the plant? The leaves are color yellow, right? Have you observed that one? Do you have plant in your house? Nada? If you have plant in your house, what will happen to their leaf if they do not have sunlight? If no sunlight, their leaf will turn color yellow and they look pale. While when you put your plant outside your house, just like this one, the color of the leaves are color green. This one will be color yellow if no sunlight. So that is how the sunlight change the plant. Another one, we have air. Air. Air can make food for the plant. The plant use the air to make food because plants make their own food. They also use the air for breathing, just like for humans and animals. We use air for breathing. Okay, next one. We have plants can make food when there is air. So during daytime, we have two important air in our life. We have carbon dioxide and oxygen. Carbon dioxide and oxygen. So we have CO2 or carbon dioxide, oxygen. So this one day, this one is night. Day, night. Okay, this is example of plant. During daytime, day, the plant needs carbon dioxide. The plant will breathe carbon dioxide and then they will give oxygen. They breathe carbon dioxide and they give oxygen during daytime. During nighttime, they need oxygen and they will give carbon dioxide. So this one is different during daytime and nighttime. Let's talk about this next time. Okay, next. This is the process of how does the plant make food. This is sunlight. The plant needs sunlight to make their own food. And also water for the roots. And then the roots will, the water will flow to the different parts of the plant. We also have water. Aside from sunlight and air, we also have water. Water is for the growth of plant roots. So that's why the plant needs more water if the roots are very big. It is also for the nutrition of the plant. For example, what will happen to the plant if there is no water? The plant will slowly die. Another one for fast growth. Fast growth. It will not grow bigger if there is not enough water. Okay, next one. It helps. We have nutrients. When you say nutrients, these are coming from different, for example, we have nutrients inside the soil. Nutrients inside the soil. It gives energy to the plant, helps plant grow faster and bigger. It can also help in reproduce. For example, when you plant a fruit, or for example, this is tomato. When you plant tomato, when you put nutrients to the soil, the tomato can have fruit easily. But if you will not put nutrients to the soil, what will happen to the tomato? It can have fruits, but the fruits are very small only. It is not nutritious. Okay, next. Farmers often add fertilizers to the soil. Fertilizer is also a nutrient to the soil so that the plant will grow faster. These are sometimes color white fertilizers. These are only small. These are used by farmers, or you can also put to your plant if you have plant in your house. Okay, so what is fertilizer? It contains nutrients that help the vegetables and fruits grow bigger and healthy so that your fruit can grow bigger and it has many fruits just like this one. You put fertilizer and this one so that your fruit or vegetable don't have worms. Fertilizer can make your plant healthy and make fruit bigger. Okay, next. There are we have water. Plants that live in water. They do not need soil to grow. For example, this one. This is an example of celery. You can grow celery in the water. You just put water in a bowl and then on the other day it can grow bigger. So grow vegetables without soil, only water. Okay, how does the plant breathe air? For humans and some animals, they breathe air through their nose and lungs. But for animals like fish, they breathe air through their mouth and gills. But for plant, they use their stomata. Okay, everybody, let's read stomata. Stomata. Next time I will discuss again about these kinds of about plants. This is stomata. It is where the air enters and lives through this tiny hole. The air enters through this one. You cannot see this one in your eyes. You can see this through a microscope. Small hole. You cannot see just using your eyes only because this one is very small hole. Okay, stomata. When there is air, it is entering this one, and then it can use this one to go out, get in and go out. Air. That is how the plants breathe. They do not have lungs, no lungs and no gills. Can you understand? This one is stomata. Okay, so we have plants that live only in the water and plants that only live on land. What plants that live in water? First, you already see this one, right? Or some of you already see this one. What is this plant? Do you know this one? Or is chem?
Teacher.
Do you know this plant or no?
Yes.
What is this? This is this plant is lotus. Lotus. You can find this one on water because they live in the water. When you plant the lotus in the soil, they will not grow. They will die. They only live on water. Lotus. And how about this one? This is water spinach. This is a vegetable. Do you eat like this? Vegetable? Who among you eat water spinach? You can see this one in the market. Do you eat this one? Raise your hand if you eat water spinach. Do you eat this one? Kwan? Kwan?
No, teacher.
Okay. Do you know, have you seen this one already or not yet? Water spinach. Oh, this one. Who among you know this one? Raise your hand. Yes, cow home. Do you know what is the pasatay of this one?
Pakbong.
Pakbung. Do you eat this one? No.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
teacher.
Okay, so this plant lives in water. Water spinach. They need more water than the soil. Water spinach. Okay. So you can find this one in the market. And this one lives also in the water. It is lotus. Now we have also this mangrove. Mangrove are big plants or tall plants that have roots. The roots can only live in the water. You can see the roots when they are growing taller, mangrove plants. You can see this one when you go to, you can see this one when you go for, when you go outside. So this one is mangrove. Mangrove. Have you seen this one already? Who among you see mangrove? Mangrove plants. They only live on water. Titan,
Yes, teacher.
have you already seen this one, mangrove? Not yet. These are trees that only live on plant. Okay, so those are mangrove. Another one, you can see this one in the school. There are small fish inside, right? Have you seen this one in your school? Ano ban Fibonwes? This one, water hyacinth. Water hyacinth, this one. Have you seen this one? Or raise your hand if you see this one in the school. Beside, when you go outside the gate, this is water hyacinth. I want to ask, I think Pep.
Me.
Nawa, you see this one in the school, right?
Yes.
Okay. How about Pepper? Did you see this one in your school?
Yes.
You can see this one outside. That is water hyacinth. Only they live in the water. How about Pau Pau? Did you see this one?
Yes.
In
Yes.
front of the gate, right? Beside, when you get
Yes.
up in Pratom tree. That is water hyacinth. Another one we have plants that live in the soil. This is soil. What are the plants that live in the soil? There are many plants you can see outside. We have mango plant, mango tree. What else? We have carrot, lettuce, mango. Who can give example of plant that live in soil or water? Soil. Namuan. Namuan.
Teacher.
A plant that live in the soil. We have
Sarah. Sarah. Sarah.
what?
Sarah.
Aside from carrot, what else? We have Sydney. Sydney. Give me example of plant that live in the soil. Soil. For example, we have apple plant. They also live in the soil. Carrots, lettuce. These are examples that live in the soil and many more. You can find outside your house. Let's talk about this next time. Let's have many more examples. But this time, let's try to answer first your worksheet in science. Okay, so don't forget to get your pencil and your eraser. Do you have question about this one? Let's continue this one next time, okay? So this time you need to answer first your worksheet. Okay, on the first box, this one about soil. Draw example of plant that live in the soil. Plant, live in the soil. For example, What are example of plants that live in the soil? We have sunflower plant. Okay, very good. Sunflower. You can draw here. And then you write the name. Write the name. For example, let's write. You write the name. What have you drawn? Sunflower. And then don't forget to color. You color the plant that live in the soil.
Teacher, color.
Yes.
Number one, draw the flower.
Any plant that live in the soil. Any. Alay ka na eh.
Teacher, color ba?
Yes, color it.
Okay.
Live in the soil. Any. You can have carrots. You can have mango
Flower.
plant. Mango plant. What else? What? Speak in English, please.
Teacher.
Plant that live in the soil. Any plant. Vita,
Flower.
Vita. Any.
Flower.
Any plant.
Flower.
Flowering plant. What else?
Teacher, number two, what
Plant
drawing?
that have fruit.
Teacher, number two, what drawing?
This one first. Okay. If you are finished with the soil, we have plants that live in the water. Plants that live in the water. For example, we have plant that live in the water. Lotus.
บัว ดอก
Lotus.
บัว
What else?
อันนี้ดอกบัว มันคือใบบัว
Lotus.
ไอ้พืชที่อยู่ในน้ำมาก
Mangrove. Mangrove plant. Water lily.
ว่าซะเป็นรูปหัวใจเลย
Or this one, water hyacinth. Lives in the water. Plant that live in the soil and plant that live in the water. Vita, where is your worksheet? Don't forget to color this one. Color. And then write the name. For example, lotus.
ยังลบยังลบยังลบลบลบลบลบลบลบลบลบ
Who is singing? Stop singing. Is that Nawa?
I am finished. Teacher, may I go shooting water, please?
Okay, you can drink your water.
Teacher, I may go
You can go out to toilet and drink your water.
Teacher, may I go to drink water? Yeah.
Yes, yes, you can drink your water and you can go out to toilet.
Go to toilet. Teacher, number 3. Drawing. What drawing?
Let's finish this one first about soil and water. You wait for your other classmates.
Teacher, I am finished. Teacher, I am finished.
Oh,
Teacher,
wait.
I don't not finish.
Let's
Teacher,
wait for
I
the
am
other
finished.
things to finish, okay? If you are finished, you can go to toilet and drink your water.
Teacher, go to drink water, please. Teacher, I may go to the toilet, please.
ไปเลย
Teacher, I am finished. I have to go to the toilet.
You can go to toilet.
Teacher, toilet, please. Teacher,
Okay, you can
may
go to
I
toilet.
go to toilet? Tell me finish แล้ว Teacher, may
Aslam,
I
are
go
you
to
finished?
toilet?
Aslam?
Teacher.